everyone, and welcome to the Koala Club podcast, a podcast made by and for international students in Australia. I am Kevin.
And I am Trang, and we talk about everything education, work, and lifestyle for overseas students in Australia.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Koala Club podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to obtain your first internship and how to get the most out of your internship. But first, how are you, Trang?
Yeah, good, thanks. So just to give a quick update to our listeners, in Australia, in New South Wales, we are back in lockdown again. So we're all working from home and we're actually recording this episode remotely from our homes. It's definitely a new experience for us.
Yes, we are. This is podcast in the new normal, eh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're recording this through Zoom because we have been in lockdown for about 2 weeks now, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, due to the rising numbers, still they have extended the lockdown for another week. At the time of recording, it is now the 9th. Was it the 9th of? No, it was the 10th of July. Was it? Sorry.
No, today's the
Sunday.
11th.
I lost my track. Sorry, Sunday, 11th of July. So the lockdown has been extended to next Friday and could be even more. We don't know about when that's going to end because, yeah, COVID. In last episode, I think last episode, we did give like a brief about the Australian student pilot program where international students could be allowed back to the country. Well, it's not happening right now, at least for this July intake. We are not sure as when this plan can be actioned, but the government has said, they will give update as soon as they can when things get better. So about today's episode, we're going to talk about internship. What is it and how to get your first one, how to get the most out of your internships as well. Trang, can you share with us what is internship and what's your experience with it?
So internships are like a program where a university student would work for a short period of time for an organization. Preferably, this would be in their field that they're studying in. They can do this internship over the uni session or over the summer break, and that just depends on how they get the internship or what kind of programs the companies offer. Internships can be paid and unpaid as well. So before we delve in, Kevin, when do you think would be the best time for students to start looking for internships?
I think the best time would probably be one semester or even 2 semesters before you actually need the internship. Some courses require you to do an internship to be able to graduate, whereas some do not. So it depends. If you require doing an internship before you graduate, best time to look for internship is probably start the third year when you have the chance to start preparing, sharpen up your resume, cover letter, interview skills, and go out look for companies who can offer you an internship. By the end of the third year, you may already secure one internship. If you start too late, then you may not find any in time, and that could be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, my advice is for students to have a think about internships and start looking maybe around in their second last year of uni or the beginning of their last year of uni, because by the time you get an internship and go through it and you actually perform well, there might be actually a chance for you to gain employment with the company that you did an internship with. So the timing might work out well so that by the time you graduate, you have that role ready for you. So that's some of the positive experiences I've had personally with internships. And I know a few people had that same experience too. So that's my advice to the listeners. So Kevin, do you want to run us through how to obtain your first internship?
Yeah, we have a few good points to share here because we went through the difficult period where we thought we couldn't ever obtain an internship. My first advice would be do your search via different job platforms like in Australia, you have Seek, LinkedIn, AU Indeed, or the University Career Hub. So like in Wollongong Uni, they got what they call the URW Career Hub, which they actually post a lot of job advertisement from different companies. When I was applying for my internship, I did look through there as well. Also, every university have like a career officer who can guide you or help you with applications for this job advertisement. When you search via this job platform, you can actually apply directly to the company as well because some of the job advertisement link back to the direct companies.
Yeah, so this avenue is applying directly to the company. So this would require a lot of time and research because you need to pick what companies you would like to apply for and then actually go through the application process. I would like to point out that you should read the eligibility requirements for these companies, as unfortunately some of these companies don't take international students for internships. This was quite disheartening for myself personally when I was looking for internships when I was at uni, as there was really nothing you could do. You could still try and apply. I know some people still applied anyway, but if their website is saying clearly that they don't take international students, that's something for you to consider if you want to spend your time and effort in doing this application form and applying to that company. So make sure you check this out before you spend time and invest your time on it. And also an additional tip that I would like to give is to tailor your resume to each company you're applying for. So this would apply to whether you're applying for internships or applying for jobs later on. Each resume that you send out to each company should be tailored, as every job requirement is different. Some would be more commercial focused, some would be more client focused. So you want to highlight your strengths in your resume and send that off to the company.
Yeah, totally agree. When you apply directly to your company, like you said, a lot of research. When you know about the company history and projects, it's much easier for you to talk to them. So the second advice I can give is to research and try to look for your internship via networking. Now, it is actually very important in Australia because most of the things come from networking, as you may know. So with networking, when you are in uni, you can actually attend a lot of networking events, either hosted by university or third-party organizations. Some of them is Network After Five, or for myself in particular, the Engineering Australia networking events for engineering students. And then there are career fairs hosted in university as well. Have you gone to any of these before, Chad?
Yeah, I did attend a few networking after five events when I was at university, and I did find this really helpful as I was able to meet businesses from the area. And although I did not get an internship out of these events, I was able to practice my networking skills and my communication skills and talking to businesses in the area. And I did come back with a few business cards. So I would suggest to international students definitely go for it because it gives you a chance to practice.
Yeah, definitely. Even though if you can't get any internships out of it, right? What you get is valuable knowledge and skills about the network and how the industry works. The next thing I think is also networking via your contact as well. Yeah, I believe getting employment through direct networking is the most effective way, really. In my case, for example, most of my jobs from my casual part-time while I was studying in uni to my internship and my first full-time work were all obtained through direct networking. For my internship, one of my very good friend, at that time, he was a professor in environmental engineering department in Wollongong University. He knew I was looking for an internship during the time because I talked to him quite often. He was one of my very good mentor. So I asked a lot of his advice on how to look for an internship and when I do get one, how to, make the most out of it. He got a friend who was a project manager in major project department in Sydney Olympic Park Council, and he asked his friend that if he could use any intern in his department for 3 months in the summer of 2015. Very lucky for me, his friend said, yeah, we could use a civil engineer intern to help us out. So we set up a small meeting in one of the coffee shop in uni campus, and his friend came down to Wollongong to have a chat with us. He asked me about my study and my career directions and what I look for in this internship, and I just told him I just want to look for some experience in civil engineer industry. I'm very versatile. I'm happy to work in different departments, and I have a great interest in the project management side of the business. At the end, I got offered intern position working for 3 months there, which I gladly accepted. The position itself was an unpaid internship working full-time for 3 months, plus about 2 hours travel on the train each way every day, so like 4 hours commute every day. But at the end, I'm really glad I took the job because I got to learn a lot of different things. I got to broaden my knowledge, my skills, my contacts, my network. In hindsight, it really helped me to get my first full-time job as a civil engineer. So the key takeaway here is networking is very important, and to have a good network, You need to be genuine. Like, don't try to take advantage of anyone that you may know, but instead be genuinely interested in their lives. Keep in touch with them, maintain your relationship, your friendship with them. Check in with them every now and then, ask them how they're going, how's their family, how is their job, to show that you really care and you really want to keep in touch and be friends with them. Now, in this modern day and age, networking also means networking via social networking. This advice I got from one of the career hub advisor officer. So what he said is go to some social network like LinkedIn. Say if you want to apply for a consulting engineer company, you can actually look for your friends or your contacts, someone you know who may work there. That doesn't mean that you use them to try to ask for an internship. Doesn't work that way. But what you can do is because you are genuinely interested in how the company works and how it's like working for that company, you can actually send them a message, say, hey, this is me. I see you're working in this company. I'm actually very interested in working with this company. Can you share your experience on how it is like to work for them? And you think what kind of skills I need to be able to apply for a internship in this company, for example. That's always a good way to start the conversation. And whether you can get an internship or not, you still gonna learn a lot about the culture and the company's background and how it is like to work there. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, because that will also create a really good impression on yourself too, because that person will see like you're very keen and you're very passionate. You want to learn more about this company. And maybe right now they don't need an intern, but maybe in 3 months they might need an intern and you might pop up in their head as a suggestion of an intern. So that is definitely a good point that you raised there, Kevin.
So the last point or the last option I have is you can do cold calling to companies. I said this is the last option because it rarely works. I actually did it when I was kind of desperate looking for internship. I cold call maybe 20 different companies in the Illawarra region and maybe 5 or 10 in Sydney. Oh, I got is a no, or we're not looking for one right now, or some people just hang up. Yeah, you never know. You may try your luck. A lot of people cold call, and then the company is actually in need of an intern, so they can actually say, "Hey, okay, send your resume through, send your cover letter through," and you never know. So it's worth a try.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. They might not even think that they need an intern, but now that you've raised the idea, they could be thinking, "Oh, actually, we could need some help with this," and that might give you a chance. So why not give it a try? So I'd like to add another way to obtain an internship, and this way worked for me. So I highly advocate it. So this is through your actual university course. So I know a lot of universities offer internship subjects. At UW, they have a capstone subject in the last year of university, and you can actually pick this subject. What they do is they randomly assign you with a business in your area of study. And these are businesses that signed up with the university for this internship program. You still have to go through the normal process of building up your resume and interviewing with the business. And if they like you, then they will give you that internship position. So it's not guaranteed. You still have to go through the normal process. This adds credits to your degree as well. So it's a win-win situation. So this internship experience actually got me a role at that accounting firm afterwards. So I did this internship in my second last session of university. And as I still had one session to go after my internship, they offered me a part-time role. So I was working there part-time while studying for my last session of university. And after I graduated, I was offered a full-time role. So in my experience, this was a really good way because I got the internship experience and then I got a job afterwards too. So this subject at uni, we also had to attend like a few lectures and do a few reports and assignments. And we also had to submit a report on our internship experience. But yeah, it's a blend of academic and practical experience subject. I think this subject actually offers overseas internship opportunities as well. But now with the pandemic, I think it's mainly virtual, or I'm not sure if they're still continuing it. At UW, I think there was another internship subject that was available for all faculties. I think it was called CRLP 200. And this gave students tips on building their resumes and interview skills. And you actually can get an internship opportunity out of this subject too. Kevin, I think you signed up for this subject. Do you want to share us your experience?
Yeah, I did sign up for this subject. Now you heard Chan's story. This is what we call the fairy tale story of of international students. All right, yeah. So you attend the internship subject, get an internship through that subject, get a part-time job after the internship, and get a full-time job after you graduate. That's the exact definition of the fairy tale we always hear about international student, but it's true. Yeah, I did sign up for this subject. Yeah, CILP 200. I think it's similar subject as the one Chang has, but it's offered to all faculty. So I went in with the same expectation of the fairy tale story, but now you're gonna hear my real life story. This is like Instagram expectation versus reality. All right.
But fairy tales do happen.
Exactly. I did this subject, CILP 200, when in about 2 or 3 weeks. That's when I was desperate and cold calling training companies because, well, our teacher in the subject literally said like, well, we don't really have much help in the engineering industry. And I see all the classmates in either marketing or accounting, or they all get their internship through this subject, but then somehow some industry like engineering is really it doesn't have much support. So it was really hard for me to find internship through this subject. So at the end, just before week 4, I think I had to drop the subject because there's no point of me doing the subject without an internship. I didn't succeed at getting an internship out of this subject, but there's a few good points to take away when I learn interviews and resume and cover letter writing and all that. So yeah, that's my take on it. But yeah, definitely do your research. If your area of study is heavily supported by this subject, then yes, it is a perfect place for you to find internship. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lesson learned from this is that before you enroll in the subject, you could always contact the subject coordinator or whoever is organizing this subject and say, hey, in my engineering major, would there be a lot of opportunities for internships if I take this subject? And they could give you the answer. Maybe there aren't that many businesses signed up with them. So maybe it's worth it to check.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. I should have done that, definitely. And also, may I just say, nowadays, you got a lot of like social media groups, like Facebook groups for your own area of study. So, like civil engineering students in Wollongong University class of 2016, for example. So ask that questions, make a post, ask the questions like, hey guys, I'm considering sign up for this subject. What do you think? Have anyone done it before? Then you will receive a lot of good advice. Either yes, subject is good, let's just go for it, or like now it doesn't have that much support for our industry. Then you can reconsider on sign up for it.
Next, let's talk about how to get the most out of your internship. My number one tip is to take notes and take lots of it. This is your first experience in your field. So take down what you can, and you never know what you may need to refer to later. And everything will be relevant and useful to you later on. So take down what you can. And personally, I did take a lot of notes as well. I wrote down what I did every day. Not only this was a requirement to summarize what I did for my capstone subject to do a report, but it was a really great reflective exercise afterwards to see what I have learned. So at the end of your internship journey, you can see, oh, I started with not knowing all this. And throughout all these days of doing my internship, I have learned all this. So you can see how far you've come. And you can also add that to your resume as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Take lots of notes. I also did in my internship, and it's a good way for you to keep track of the informations you have during your internship. And when we're speaking about notes, I would like to add as well is be organized. Always have files or paperwork of the projects or the notes when you take the project ready and organized in your desk. And you never know when you may need them, or when your boss all of a sudden just turn up and ask for them in a second and you have to produce it. Yeah, that's my note on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. You definitely want to be ready and show that you're switched on. And when your manager asks you for something, you have it ready. My next tip is to make sure you ask lots of questions. So it's always better to ask lots of questions than to leave wondering why something was done a certain way. And maybe you'll never know because every company may do things a little bit differently. So you don't want to be 2 years down the track and still not sure why the company was doing something a certain way and how you could apply that to your current job or how you could improve from that. So definitely ask lots of questions. And it shows that you're keen as well if you're asking a lot of questions. In my personal experience, when I was working at the accounting firm and we were taking in a lot of interns from the uni, I was mentoring and training them. And I honestly enjoyed it so much to see the interns ask questions and see them grow and learn each day. So when they finish their internship, their knowledge base is a lot bigger and wider than when they first started and came to us. So don't think that your mentors would feel annoyed at you asking questions because that's for your benefit and that's for the mentor's benefit as well. So please do ask lots of questions.
Yeah, I totally agree with Chang there. Well, that leads to my next point, which is be proactive. And like Chang said, if you're not sure of something, ask questions. And also not just in technical stuff, but in terms of your own work or your own assignments, be proactive, ask questions. Never just wait for your boss to hand you work or tell you what to do. So seek out work from your direct boss or your other co-worker that they may need help in different parts of their business. Now, when I started my first internship, my first week there, I remember my first 3 days. I went to my boss and said, "What can I do?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, just sit there and study, these documents." And for the whole week, he kept saying like, "Yeah, I come to your desk and then I tell you what to do, give you other work." And he never did. So I was sitting there in the desk for 2 days, wondering like, did I do something wrong? When you just started out, you didn't have any experience. And you're like, did I do something wrong? Was he angry at me or something? But then, I start realize like he probably one too busy, got other things to worry about. So instead of just sit there and wondering and it's not good for mental health as well. I just got up and went to other co-workers. I treated as your other bosses and asked them like, hey, anything I can help you with. And then, yeah, a lot of people gave me these small tasks here and there to help them. While doing that, you being proactive, but you also learn about different parts of the company, different departments, different areas of business as well, not just in your own area. So you broaden your knowledge and you broaden your skills, and ultimately everyone like you at the workplace as well because you seem always eager to help out others as well.
That is definitely a valid point, and it's actually quite common. So, personally, for me, when I was doing my internship, there were times when my manager was in meetings or was busy. So, he can't like sit with me all the time and show me what to do. So, he'll give me a task, I'll do it to the best of my ability. And if I have nothing left to do, I would do more research on what I was given or read the company policies, read the reports that have been given to me. So branch out and do your own research when you feel like you've got nothing else to do, and definitely reach out to other co-workers as well, because that, again, as Kevin said, shows that you're eager and keen to learn. And towards the end of your internship, they will very likely give that positive feedback to your manager, which leaves a very good impression on you. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
so, my next point is when you finish up with your internship, ask your mentor or manager to be a referee for you. So, if in this case, if you didn't end up with a role at the company, you still have a good relationship with them. And when you're starting out as a student looking for jobs after you graduate, referees are so valuable to assist you to get that job because without them, it would be very hard to get a job if no one can vouch for you. So once you finish up at your internship, ask your mentor, hey, can I put you down as a referee when I apply for jobs later on? And obviously, when you're actually applying for jobs, get in touch with your mentor and tell them that I'm applying for a job and please keep an eye out for your phone because they might ring you. So it's good to follow up on that as well. And of course, connect with them on LinkedIn. That's a very popular professional social media network now. So definitely connect with them on LinkedIn after you finish up with your internship. My last advice is to definitely give it your all.
Yeah, definitely agree, Chang. That's why my point is participation is important, not just in your work, but on social activities at the workplace too. While I was in my internship, I joined a lunchtime soccer club, did social activities with my worker, did the free coffee club per month walk with them and all that sort of stuff. So you will be viewed more as a good team player and receive praise from people to your boss, manager. And the other thing is be open-minded and eager to learn. Like Chang said, give it your own. And at your internship, put your university books into a corner, forget about them, and ready to relearn everything again. Actually, most things in real life work will be solved differently from what you learn in theory. Therefore, your main focus should be to learn the simplest and the most effective solutions to the problems at your work.
I definitely agree. So internships will give you that practical experience alongside with the theory that you've learned in uni, and that gives you a chance to apply what you've learned, but also see, I guess, outside of the box, because what you've been taught in theory is very much black and white. And when you're in the real workplace, you see things in a wider lens.
So one of the questions, you can call it probably a bonus question here, is we got asked pretty often is, should we accept an unpaid internship, i.e. work for free? This is quite a debatable topic. Like a lot of people say, yeah, definitely you should accept an unpaid internship just for the sake of getting an internship. And some people say, no, you should not, just because you don't receive any compensation for it and could be a waste of time. So, what is your take on this, Chang?
Well, I guess before you start thinking about applying for internships, really ask yourself what you want to get out of it. Like you've mentioned, we need to weigh up the time and effort that we will put into the internship because, yes, obviously you're working for free for however many days of the internship when you could be working casually elsewhere and earn money to support yourselves. But the benefits you get from an internship, from my perspective, is definitely outweighs the commitment that you put in, as this is probably your first chance to expose yourself to the professional workforce and to your field of study as well. So you could have a taste of what you would see yourself doing or not doing after you graduate. And if you're lucky, then you could get a job out of this internship. So I think it's definitely a worthwhile opportunity to grab onto if you can. But if you're just thinking of getting an internship because everyone you know is applying for internships and you feel like you would be at a disadvantage, then when you actually get the internship, you might not give it your all because you just feel like this is an obligation that you have to do to compare yourself to everyone. So I would suggest really ask yourself if you really want this professional experience before you graduate, as yeah, again, it would definitely interfere with your personal life and your studies. So think about whether you're handling studies okay. If you're sort of struggling or if you find that studies is a bit overwhelming, then maybe internships right now may not be the best option for you, but it could be maybe next session when your subject's workload is a little bit less. How about you, Kevin? What is your take on this?
Yeah, I actually totally agree with you. I'll get straight to my personal answer. My personal recommendation is I believe it is worth to accept an unpaid internship. Personally, I did have an unpaid internship for 3 months full-time working internship. The reason being, first is you'll be able to find internship much easier if it is an unpaid internship, especially as an international student. That's just the reality. Second thing is, I know a lot of people say if you accept an unpaid internship, the company will not value you as like a valuable worker. They would think like, oh, he does this for free, his time worth is literally free, so they don't value you. But I think I see it as the opposite way. It's how you value yourself. So the time when you put in an unpaid internship is actually worth even more than your time when you in a paid internship, because unpaid internship means you are paying yourself, not the company. You paying yourself with your time, your effort, and your hard work. So to me, it's actually worth more than anyone else can pay me. So knowing that your unpaid internship will be much more valuable to yourself, and then that's how you give it your all. A lot of the good companies, good bosses, they also see it that way. They see it as you are willing to do this for free. You're willing to put in the hard work, put in the travel, put in the effort for 3 months for free, just so you can learn the way of the industry and you can learn new skills and new knowledge. And somehow that way makes they respect you more and they value you more. And you never know if you can have an opportunity to have like a part-time job or a full-time job at that firm after your internship. May I just say something like this as well? I realized a lot of people in the world are very outstanding in what they do, and some are just very lucky and don't have to worry about this stuff. But I've seen a lot of young students, young international students who have this fire in them that make them set out goals and do whatever it takes to achieve those goals. So if you're not extremely talented and if you're not that lucky, then what will you do if you don't have that fire inside you too?
Well, that really summarized that point really well, Kevin. I completely agree with all that you've mentioned. And I would like to just advise our listeners to, yeah, definitely give it your all and have that fire inside you. That will reflect you, and the employer can see that fire inside of you too. So I think that's a wrap up of our episode today on internships. We hope you found what we've shared insightful and helpful. Please leave us a comment on our Instagram, the Koala Club podcast, if you've got any suggestions. And we hope you'll come back for more of the Koala Club. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Chang. And please follow us on, you can find our episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. That's the three main one, right? Yeah, please not subscribe, but follow us for more episodes in the future. Yeah, thanks guys. Stay tuned.